This video is for you if you're feeling chronically exhausted. I will share the things that worked for me very well, and hopefully it will help you too. If you're here for the first time, welcome to my channel. My name is Guzala Davis. I am a hypnotherapist and hypnosis trainer. Today we will not be doing hypnosis. I will share simple, practical tips that you can start implementing right away, and I promise you it will make your life easier. Being a single mom, running a few businesses, working with clients all day and then teaching evenings and weekends, at some point I realized that I do have limits, and that is a realization I had to make peace with. I am not a superhuman. My energy is not infinite. I do have limits. And also part of my work is convincing people that they're limitless when it comes to energy and our time. We have to look at it realistically, and I made a habit out of it. Before saying yes to anything or anybody, I'd remind myself, I have limits. If I'm saying yes now, what am I saying no to? And then saying no to people became very easy. It was a little more difficult to learn to say no to myself, especially when it's routine, daily things. Reading my favorite book, or watching a great movie, or going to bed on time. Accepting a last-minute client, or honoring the time I've been saving for my rest, going out and partying with my friends, or staying home and allowing my body to recover from a hard week. This simple habit of reminding myself that I have limits helps me a lot when it comes to protecting my time and energy. You see, our energy is just like money. If you're on a limited budget, you go into the saving mode. You remove all the unnecessary expenses. You make every penny count. You plan carefully. You become strategic. We have to treat our energy the same way. You feel exhausted because you've been overspending your energy, running on credit. And just like with financial credit, at some point bills come due. Your body keeps track. Just like with money, you need a plan. You need to lighten your load. You need to remove from your to-do list things that are not necessary at the moment, at least for now. Temporary. What you do not have to do. Put those things aside if you cannot delegate them. Later you may realize that the things you thought had to do are not needed at all, and you may permanently banish them from your to-do list. I remember standing in the middle of my kitchen, had few pots going, cooking something, overwhelmed with dishes in my sink. I glanced on the floor. There were some crumbs, so it's going through my mind. I will need to vacuum and mop the floor. I almost cried, feeling sorry for myself. I was so tired. But that was a gift. I was tired enough to stop caring about those things. Is it nice to have a freshly mopped floor every day? Yes. But was it necessary when my child was little, crawling on the floor? Yes, it was absolutely necessary. But when your children are grown, they're not crawling on the floor. Hopefully not eating anything off the floor. Not mopping your floor for a few days will not hurt anyone. And I remember when I had this reasoning going through my mind, it felt so good, as though heavy weight came off me. I decided then I'm not going to be mopping floor anymore every day. And that was a beginning of me permitting myself not to be perfect. Gradually I made peace with leaving dirty dishes in the sink, not cooking fresh meal every day, or pre-cooking it, or not cooking from scratch. I started to become more mindful of the things I had to do daily. I planned more carefully, even with meal prep. It's not just about being organized or efficient. All those decisions, choices, what am I going to cook today? What am I going to cook for breakfast, for dinner? What about tomorrow? It all costs you energy. We have to make thousands of choices daily. And if you have too much going on, you're already exhausted. And now you're adding decision fatigue on top of that. As a mom, I did spend a lot of time in my kitchen, so I started thinking, how can I optimize it? Gradually, I moved things around in the kitchen, so I don't have to go back and forth. I started paying attention to the things that wasted my time and energy. Even simple, seemingly meaningless things like putting mugs right next to the teapot. I used to have them in different parts of the kitchen, so every time I wanted to have a cup of tea, I would go into one corner of my kitchen, get teapot, bring it to the sink, fill it with water, walk back, plug it in. While the water is boiling, I would have to walk across, get my mugs. Then my tea was in a different part of the kitchen, and then I had to walk across the kitchen again to get the spoon. Until I became chronically exhausted, I never thought about things like this. I guess just like with money, if you have plenty, you don't worry about spending extra, and when you are on a strict budget, you make every penny count. So gradually, I rearranged my kitchen completely, put things where it made sense, so I didn't have to anymore walk back and forth. I was surprised how big of a difference it made. And then I started making similar changes in every other part of the house. And gradually I rearranged everything, and I planned carefully the steps I could automate. It's not about becoming a robot. It's being smart, saving yourself enough time and energy for the things that really matter. So eventually my life became like a well-oiled machine. It's like a putting train on the railroad. You don't sway away right and left with distractions. You move in one direction. You don't go back and forth because you forgot something. You lay out everything in a way it makes sense. How much time does it take you to get ready for work in the morning? How many times do you walk in the morning between your bedroom, bathroom, and kitchen? And if you have kids, then add kids' room too. How many trips you make between these rooms? No wonder many already tired before they even make to work. What if you set it as an intention to make the most efficient morning routine route? Eliminate few unnecessary trips that you make across your house. Lay out things for yourself in a way it will naturally lead you to the next step. You'll be shocked how much time and energy it will save you, and how much space it will clear in your mind. Of course, you cannot automate everything, but you can easily automate the things you do every day. You will have to do it gradually. You cannot just sit down and engineer your perfect daily routine. You have to make gradual adjustments. I was fine-tuning my routine over a few years, and then unthinkable happened. I moved to another state, and that train of my perfect life was completely derailed. But I'm actually grateful for that, because I could see what a huge difference it made in my life. Going from what you have to something better, yes, sure, we appreciate it. But going from what you have to something worse, that's when you really understand the true value. It's been a full year for me in the new house. The railroad is fixed now, and the train is moving smoother and smoother every day. I also want to add that this is especially important for when you hit the menopause. You don't have that much energy anymore. This transitional period, it's about 5 years in average. When you have very low energy, when everything's hurt, your body is changing, you're losing sleep, you experience daily emotional roller coaster, there is mental fatigue, it's harder to focus, you start to experience memory issues. It does get better, but how much better it will get depends very much on how well you take care of yourself during this transitional period. It's very important to lighten your load. Stop pushing yourself as you used to when you were younger. Gradually start deleting things from your to-do lists. And you absolutely have to create more space for yourself, your rest and your sleep. So what things you can stop doing today? What things you can move around in your kitchen so there is less steps you need to take? How can you lay out your morning routine in a way it takes less time and less energy? What can you pre-decide? What choices you can make ahead of time so you are not hit with this decision fatigue? So I started to prepare my wardrobe for the entire week, sometimes more, sometimes for 2 weeks ahead. When I was younger, even when I tried that, it didn't work. I'd wake up in a different mood. I don't want that. I don't feel like it. I'll wear something different. But now, even if I feel this way, doesn't matter. I honor my choice that I made previously, and I'll stick with what I planned. It saves so much energy and time. I simplified my skincare routine, my makeup. Instead of huge drawer of makeup that I had to shuffle through to find something every morning, now there are very few items. It takes me very little time now to get ready. First, start with your home. Pick one area, tiny area, one drawer or one shelf at a time. Optimize that gradually. Your mind will start getting used to optimizing things, and that skill will be transferred into other areas of your life. How can you optimize your work schedule, the systems that you built in your business? If you work with clients, you can optimize your client intake. I did. Instead of few phone calls, sending emails back and forth, bunch of reminders, I automated everything. Now it's a breeze. It doesn't take any of my time. You teach your brain to think in this way. You will naturally start optimizing every area of your life. Eventually, that will transfer into your relationships. You will no longer be willing to keep investing your time into relationships that you've outgrown. And that for sure will make a huge difference in your life. Letting go of people that no longer belong in your life will save you so much time and energy. And we usually don't think of it, but it does take so much out of you trying to maintain those half-dead relationships, meaningless exchange of messages, empty conversations, attending events just for the check mark. Remember, when you're saying yes to something, you always say no to something else. So when you say yes to these time wasters, what are you saying no to? Is it you, your health, your peace, your children, your spouse? Make every bit count. It's about reclaiming your focus and vitality and freeing up energy for what really matters. So go ahead and start budgeting your energy like a precious resource it is, because you deserve to live with energy well spent, not borrowed from your future.